everyone. In the last video, we have already studied about the first part of avenues of investment, that is securities. Now, second thing, that is deposits. A deposit is a financial term that means money held at a financial institution. The deposit is a transaction involving transfer of money to another party for a safekeeping. You might have you might be very familiar with the concept of deposit because you know about banking. All of you have bank accounts. It means it is just like investing your money into banks or any other financial institution, mainly for the purpose of safety and return. Here, deposits they involves two things, that is bank deposit and NBFC deposit. Bank deposit is an easy investment avenue open to an investor. He has to open an account and deposit the money. It is more like opening an account in the bank and transferring your money to this bank account. Here you can get two things, that is safety and return. There are different accounts which are offered by the bank, that is savings account, current account, recurring account or fixed account. Under savings account, you can earn a lesser rate of interest, but it is widely used by the people of India. Most of the people prefer to keep their money in savings account. And coming to recurring account, monthly investment can be made in recurring deposit accounts. Fixed deposit, it is a avenue which attracts higher rate of interest in banking sector. Then last one is current account. Current account is specifically meant for business people, which attracts zero interest, but it provides higher liquidity to the business people. These are the different accounts which are provided by the banks where you can invest your money. Coming to NBFC deposits, NBFC comes under the purview of RBI. The amendment of RBI Act in January 1997 made the registration compulsory for NBFCs. Securities of the deposits with the NBFC is lower than the securities deposits with the bank. In spite of the strict rules and regulations laid down by RBI, the default rate is high in case of NBFCs. Here, NBFC means non-banking financial company deposits. Here, these non-banking financial companies, they have to compulsorily register under RBI, that is as per the amendment of the RBI Act January 1997. In spite of this registration, these NBFCs are not so safe compared to bank deposits because of the rate of default. So these are the two things that is coming under deposits. Next thing is postal schemes. Postal savings are considered a reliable form of investment because they are backed by the government of India. At the time of postal savings were much sought after by the lower classes, but now middle income and higher income groups are also considering the avenue as an important area of investment. Here, postal savings schemes which are offered by the post offices and which are coming under the purview of government of India. Earlier, they are considered only by the lower class of people, but now even the middle class and higher class people are investing their money in postal savings schemes because of the uncertainty of other investment avenues available in the market. So under postal savings scheme, we have certain things, that is first one is public provident fund. Public provident fund is one of the preferable schemes and is available with a lock-in period of 15 years. Nonetheless, investors can avail partial withdrawal after 5 years. A minimum deposit of 500 per year is required to keep the account active. Here, this is meant for a term period of 15 years. You can invest your money for a period of 15 years, and if you want, you can withdraw your money after 5 years. And to keep the account active, you have to invest 500 per year. It is a first option. Then National Saving Certificate. People can invest in National Saving Certificate with a small deposit amount of rupees 100 as a single individual, jointly, or as a guardian of minor. The lock-in period is 5 years, and annual interest is reinvested and accumulated amount will be paid at the time of maturity. It means here you can invest in National Savings Scheme either as an individual or jointly or as a guardian of a minor. Here this term period is for 5 years, and you are not going to receive any interest on this investment. Rather, this interest on this investment is accumulated and reinvested. At the time of maturity, you will get both principal and maturity amount together. Next thing is Post Office Monthly Income Scheme. This Post Office Monthly Income Saving Scheme is another reliable saving instrument that allows people to invest a maximum of rupees 4.5 lakh individually and 9 lakh jointly. It allows the investor to generate steady monthly income. Since it says monthly income scheme, you can invest 4.5 lakh as an individual, or as a jointly you can invest 9 lakh, and since it is a monthly income scheme, you are going to receive a monthly steady income from this investment. Next thing is Kisan Vikas Patra. Kisan Vikas Patra certificate allow you to earn double the deposit amount in 9 years and 10 months. Here, whatever you are investing today, after 9 years and 10 months, you will be able to receive the double amount of your investment with the help of this Kisan Vikas Patra. And if you want to close the investment, you can close it after 2.5 years, that is 2.5 years. After 2.5 years, you can close this investment by paying a nominal penalty. These are the different things which are available under postal saving schemes. They are Public Provident Fund, National Saving Certificate, Post Office Monthly Income Scheme, Kisan Vikas Patra. Next thing is insurance. Insurance is a contract represented by a policy in which an individual or entity receives financial protection or reimbursement against losses from an insurance company. Here, insurance can be considered as a safety measure than an investment measure. Here, you can protect yourself against the unforeseen risks. In case the risk happens and loss occurs, this loss will be reimbursed by the insurance company if the insurance is taken by you. That is one of the best avenue available for protecting yourself against the unforeseen risks. Under insurance, we have several things. Here we have life insurance. It is a contract between insurer and the policy holder in which the insurer guarantees the payment of a death benefit to the named beneficiary when the insured dies. Here, this policy is taken to protect the family members of the insured. In case something happens and the insured dies, if he has insurance policy, then his family members will receive the compensation from the insurance company, with the help of which they can lead a safe life. That is one of the best option available to protect the family members after the death of the insured. That is life insurance. Next thing is ULIP, Unit Linked Insurance Plan. It is a multi-phased product issued by insurance companies that combine insurance coverage and investment exposure in a single offering. While explaining insurance, I said it is more of a security or safety than an investment. Here, This unit linked insurance plan, it combines the feature of safety and investment in one place. Here it provides both safety and investment opportunity to the investors. Here the policyholders required to make regular premium payments. A part of the premium will be utilized for covering the risk. On the other hand, the other part is used for investment in debt, either debt or equities or even in mutual fund, which is going to give investment benefit to the investors. So unit linked insurance plan is both an investment and a safety measure. That is about insurance. We have life insurance and unit linked insurance plan. Next thing is real assets. Apart from all other investment avenues, we have real assets as investment avenue. Here under real assets we have real estate. Real estate is an asset class has rewarded investors with a superior return. Real estate is nothing but investing in land. This real estate has residential property, commercial property and land. Residential property involves flats, apartments, cottages and houses. Commercial property involves hotels, resorts, hospitals, educational institutions and so on. Land involves farmhouse plots, industrial plots, agricultural and non-agricultural land. This residential property attracts rental income. This commercial property attracts capital gain. This is one of the area which provides a very high return to the investors. The next thing is precious metals. They are precious because they are rare. These most of the times Indians prefer to buy gold, and this gold is not just a desire for Indians, it is more considered as an investment avenue. This gold comes under this precious metal. Other than gold, we have silver and platinum. They are also considered as investment avenue and purchased by individual with the intention of having some return in the future date. Next thing is art and antiques. The size of art market is growing rapidly. Art means investing in these paintings. Most of the times you might have come across purchasing of paintings of some great artists, maybe Ravi Verma or Da Vinci and some other great artists. These arts are very costly and they are purchased as an investment avenue by the investors. Coming to antiques. Antiques are the commodities of historical importance. It may include coins, sculpture, manuscript or some other objects of olden days. These things must be registered with the Archaeological Society of India and they should possess certificate of registration from the Archaeological Society of India. Here these things are usually purchased either by the government or by the rich people. Here government purchases these things mainly to keep in the museums. Other than that, these individuals they purchase this because they want to have they might be interested in collecting these things of archaeological importance or antique commodities. These are also considered as a way of investment because they are very costly. These are the things which comes under real assets, that is real estate, precious metals, art and antiques. These are the different areas where an individual can invest their money. The investment avenues they usually includes securities, deposits, postal schemes, insurance and real estate. It is not just the bank which provides better benefit to the individual. there are different avenues, and if the individual want to earn higher rate of interest on their investment, they should try to look into different avenues of investment other than banks. Thank you.